Once again, here at Harry Phil's Gymnasium, it is win or go home. Live from the Harry Phil's Gymnasium in Alliance, Ohio. It's a rivalry matchup as well as a district semifinal in OHSAA's third division here on the SmeeSports YouTube channel as the number 1 seed Alliance Aviators welcome in the number 29 seed and defending state champion Louisville Leopards. Hello friends, Nathan, Smee, and Graham Oyer here for the pregame show. Cooper is currently, as we like to say, slacking off. In actuality, he's doing his band concert right now, but we'll have him during the actual game. But Graham, as well, a student as a part of the Video Production Career Tech program at Alliance High School. You're a junior. This is an exciting time for you as it's only taken you a few years to see the best Alliance Aviator basketball in the last couple of years. How excited are you for tonight?
Very excited to see that we're back in a good competitive setting, going against the defending state champions with a legit chance to beat them as well.
And that's, of course, the key tonight. In talking to some people, Jay Wilhelm just moments ago from Q92, Louisville, until they lose, are the defending state champions. They have the biggest target on their back, and they are the team to beat, even if Alliance is the number 1 seed. That is the only target bigger than being the best team this year, being the defending state champions. And we've seen it in the past where teams look to struggle. For example, in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs. They struggle, they kind of glide into the playoffs, and what do? They take over.
Right. It could very well happen tonight, but looking at that record, sure, Louisville has had a lot of good teams that have put them down. But even in their wins, most of them are really close games, and Alliance doesn't play that.
Not at all. And you look at Friday night's game, a 3-point game at the half, a 23-point win in the end, 75-52. More on that in a few moments, but I do want to point out the Louisville Leopards are the first team to start warming up here this evening as they are behind us right now.
Yeah, Louisville's just probably looking for an extra time to just get that groove going, to not have to wait till the second half like some other teams do against Alliance this year.
And that's what they did on Friday night. They were losing at the half to Aurora, down by as many as 10 in that game. Enter the junior Cohen Rogers. What a performance from him. 28 total points, 22 of which came in the second half.
Yes, Cohen Rogers, big difference maker in that game. However, he is actually out for this one.
That's Caleb Balcom.
Oh, Caleb Balcom.
Caden Balcom is out.
Wrong.
And the reason why, he is also a junior. He transferred in from Glen Oak High School, and they did not release him. Usually the Federal League schools, once a player transfers out, will not release. The difference is Parker Woods for Alliance. He was released by Marlington. That is why he can play tonight.
Right. That might just be like a difference between how schools go about the release process and everything. But this is still that's still a major difference maker in this game, is not having a key player to be able to help with that.
And going back to that last game between Alliance and Louisville, if you said he was the leading scorer in that game, you would be correct. He had 15 points against the Aviators back in December. But if you recall that game, Graham, that was such a slow start for the Louisville Leopards. It wasn't until the second half when shots started to fall. But of course, it was a little bit too late in that game. And the key tonight, the biggest key to victory, as we'll talk about that later, is going to be a decent start. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you can't be down by 10 after one quarter and expecting to play catch-up.
Right, because playing catch-up against this Alliance team is not how you win this year. This team is just too good at especially just putting that fast pace back up real quick. They only need 1 or 2 good scores, and then they're back in it.
We've talked a lot about the prior matchups and just about these teams in general. Let's get a concrete start here with the Louisville Leopards. Of course, the defending Division III state champions, 9-14 entering play tonight. They have 1 win in their last 8, and of course that was against Aurora. But Graham, when I read out these teams that they lost to, you're going to sense a very, very big pattern here. And I'll start right now as I can kind of locate it on my notes here. St. Ed's, St. Ignatius, Lutheran West, Canton Central Catholic, St. Vincent St. Mary, Glen Oak, Massillon Jackson.
Yeah, those are a lot of these really high-powered teams. You can't knock them for losing that too much. But then again, Alliance has also had some big names. Looking at that Canton-McKinley game, and that's like, I know there's not as many examples for Alliance, but there's still enough that you could do that.
My big thing with saying that is you have to look at when those games were played. Yes, Massillon and McKinley was back-to-back. They split the pair. That stretch we just said was 7 games in a row. Coming off a game against Marlington where they dismantled them from the opening tip to the final whistle. It's not really comparable. This Louisville team played a state champion record without any returners from that squad that were actual key impact players on that team. They all graduated, and beyond that, they lost their legendary head coach, Tom Siegfried. He retired, and now they brought in somebody, yes, who knows the program, but Dave Wirtz, 3 years with the program prior to that as a freshman and JV coach, not the head honcho. And you look at it, just to put this into perspective, he graduated from Perry in 2018. That means, assuming that we're all lined up with birthdays and stuff like that, getting rid of any outliers, he would be only 6 years younger, or older, than I am, which is really putting it in perspective, meaning he'd be around 26, 27 years old, and he is leading the defending state champs.
That's not a position you want to be in as a rookie head coach.
I think he likes it. I think he embraces it, especially given that start. I think he's a guy who learned under Tom Siegfried for 3 years. If there's anybody that you want to learn under in Stark County, it's probably Tom Siegfried. And beyond that, he got to see some guys develop. He got to see Braden Gross come in and become the player that he was. Beyond that, a Bo Siegfried, who was one heck of a point guard, now over at Ashland. He got to see these guys develop. He developed players, and the big thing for him, back when he started it as the freshman head coach in his first year and then JV the next 2 years, you see this current group of seniors? That's his group.
Yeah, he does have that extra recognition with this team. He knows how they play, and that might be the deciding factor, is if he just lets them play in their own style, which may definitely help decide this game.
And overall, in 4 years with the program, 45-33. The first 3 years, the records that we took for that statistic was with the team that he was with, i.e. freshman or JV, and then including this year. But where do you think his head's at? He had that tough stretch to end the regular season, and then all of a sudden he gets thrown into the playoffs, down in his own house at the half, but finds a way to beat a scrappy Aurora team by 9.
Yeah, his head's definitely he's just happy that he's back. Even if it is a sloppy win, it's still a win. You can't dwell on that for too long. You have to keep moving, especially going against a powerhouse team like Alliance tonight.
And at the same time, if you're Louisville, you still have that chip on your shoulder. You are the defending state champions, and you are a state champion, the defending state champions, until you lose. And that has to be a bit of reinsurance. And then you look at the bottom of this bracket. It's going to be a gauntlet going forward. And I think everybody knew that. The bottom is Bedford and Akron Garfield, 2 really scrappy teams. We'll talk more about them in a little bit, but you look at the Rams, some really gutsy wins. Bedford, to quote Third Coast Hoops, they're just grimy.
Yeah. It's what you want to see, is just something just different.
And that's the key. We've talked a lot about Louisville. Let's talk about these Alliance Aviators. 21-2 on the year. They have been so impressive and so fun to watch. Their 2 losses, West Branch back in December, and then Massillon in January in an overtime clash. Outside of that, perfection. 9-1 in the conference. You swept the Federal League, which in its own right is an impressive stat, given how talented that conference is. And if McKinley plays their cards right, could be home to a state champion this year, which obviously it would take a lot for them to knock off a Lakota West-esque team in the end. But you can see a state champion come out of that Fed.
Yeah, that's, like you said, Alliance almost perfection this year. And going back to those 2 losses, specifically the one against West Branch, I know I have heard Alliance coaches still mad about that game because they are still mad that they lost that, because it was a very winnable situation that just didn't fall their way.
And they know it was. This team knows what they can do, and a lot of that comes from Chet Harper. He's coached a lot of really good teams over the years. Of course, getting his start at the old Timken High School, moving to McKinley, was a lead assistant there, and then basically a quote-unquote trade happened. Coach Spoon leaving Alliance, going over to Canton McKinley, and then the other way from the assistant spot came Chet Harper. Where do you think his head is at right now? He finally got his first home playoff win as the head coach at Alliance after 3 years. Of course, you go back to his first season, he won his first career playoff game at the expense of my Namers on the road in Parma Heights, and then took VASA to a really good, I believe, triple overtime game over at Akron North. Last year, one and done, losing to Barberton. This year, the number 1 seed, and now you go from playing a Firestone team who pulled well above their expectations to play the defending state champs.
I think most of it is he's just got to keep trusting in his guys. He's got a real balanced team here, a good mix of seniors and younger guys who still have some time, and that's basically what it boils down to. Is you just have to just trust your guys. Hopefully, players like Jr. and even people like Parker can perform good in this team.
Looking at those players, of course, Jared Jackson's the big one, but after last year, Alliance had one loss, and that was Henry Scheibel, more of a three-point specialist. You don't replace him with a three-point specialist. That is not what Parker Woods brings to you. He brings you instead some of the best hustle and grit that you're going to see from a fringe guard and forward, as he's not like Pasco or Hayes, and he's also not like KB and JR.
Right. He brings his own spin to it, which is like I think that was a nice fit with this team because like you said, you already have players that fill all those other roles. Parker just brings his own spin, that grit, that sheer dedication to this game that just changes it.
And at Marlington last year, he had that freedom to play in a smaller spot. That starting lineup had some good players. You had Denham, Evanich, Yoder, and Hetherington all around him. Denham was your point guard. Then you look at the rest of what you have. Yoder and Hetherington could be your 4-5. Evanich at the 3. Parker got to play the 2. If he would have stayed, Evanich bumps, I believe, based on technicalities, to the 5. He would have to play the 4. Here at Alliance, he's playing the 3. He's right in the middle. Or you can even make an argument that JR sometimes runs the 3. I would assume he plays more of a 2. But still, he doesn't have to be an undersized forward. He doesn't have to be an oversized guard. He gets to be what he should be, and that is a small forward in my opinion. Once again, I'm not the guy to say, hey, so-and-so has to play this position. I don't think I have enough say to really make that call, but from what we've seen this season, being a true 3 has served him quite well, and if he wants to get recruited to the next level, is giving him a great opportunity that even if he does have to drop down, say he goes to Division II and has to play the 2, he can score like it.
Yeah, he definitely fits well in the 3, and he's right where he needs to be. He's got that surrounding of the higher powered, like looking at especially with the defensive stats that say Pasco brings to this game. He's just right where he needs to be.
Still 40 minutes until tip-off, but we will take our first break of the evening as we toss things back down to the floor here at Harry Phil's Gymnasium. It is starting to fill up. It is playoff time. The excitement is in the air. When we return, we're going to talk numbers, points per game averages, player averages, and who needs to perform outside of the numbers tonight. You are watching the SmeeSports pregame show on the SmeeSports YouTube channel in partnership with Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance. Welcome back to the Harry Village Gymnasium here in Alliance, Ohio, as you are watching the SmeeSports pregame show on the SmeeSports YouTube channel in partnership with Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance. As we'll step up here into frame, I am Nathan Smee. Alongside me this evening for pregame, Graham Oyer, and now Daniel Clark DC has joined us for pregame. All right, gentlemen, it's time. Let's talk about the numbers, as there is a lot to break down about both of these teams tonight. Of course, when you look at the stats, Louisville, 2 players scoring in double figures, being Cohen Rogers and Caden Balcom. He is inactive today due to the transfer rules. So how much of a role is that going to really make Cohen Rogers have to play? Keep in mind, once again, he had 22 of his 28 points in the last game against Aurora in the second half.
So he's already got a lot of that momentum coming in. He's going to have to just keep it going and just make sure that it does not stop, especially without Balcom to help back him up. It's just him. He's got to keep it going.
And then, DC, your thoughts? Of course, you got to see this Lions team on Friday, and that was a interesting game all the way around. It wasn't the best game, especially in the first half, but in the final box score, a 23-point win.
Yeah. So my thing about Alliance getting that dub on Friday was that was one of the best games that they played in the second half to be looked at as a team playing team, if you know what I mean. A lot of the times we saw discussions from the coach to players that just didn't really work in the moment when we saw that game on Friday. But when it came to the second half of that game, it started to look a lot better. And I really enjoyed the game when we started to put in some of the freshmen that we're going to see next year.
And that was key, of course, getting a lot of those guys involved that we have seen do some great things all the way around. I'm going to toss it back to you, Graham. Looking at that game, which stat that you can kind of think of here, whether it be one that we know for sure as it be points per game, rebounds, you name it, what stood out to you the most about that game?
I think for me, it was actually probably Pasco's defensive stats in that game. He was just swatting them down constantly. Akron Firestone couldn't get much going.
And that was key, and that's why he was player of the game. He wasn't the leading scorer. He had 10 points, and you look at it that way, right. He wasn't the top guy. You had a couple of guys do some great things. In fact, 5 guys, all 5 starters, were in double figures. Right. But the defense really told the story about the game, and I know this is more of a numbers segment, but what we didn't have told us more about the game than what we were told.
Right. Yeah, 100%. And, you know, I love the fact that he brought up Pasco's way of play that day, but another thing that you have to understand is that J.R. Jackson is the leader of this team. And J.R. Jackson put a great game together on Friday with him and his best guy, Cam. And, you know, they both just had an excellent game on Friday. You know, J.R. is already averaging 19.8 points a game. And an amazing average, you know, something that you aren't really seeing of another high school player, but we are still seeing that today, and in this day and age, Alliance has to get the dub today.
And that's the key. And once again, our rolling mantra for tonight, the Louisville Leopards are state champions until they lose again. And that's the key here. They always will have that edge until, of course, it's gone. It's one of those, they have it until they don't, which seemed kind of counterintuitive, but it is true. Now, a lot of those guys came back. A lot of the coaches are different, but it's still the same team. It's still the program after all. You don't have that title just because one team was so good. You have that title because it's a legacy of success.
Right. And looking at that as well, like you said earlier, it does paint a bigger target on their back. And Alliance has that in frame fully. They're fully aware of that, and they are ready to go for it.
And with that, DC, I'm going to toss it over to you. You played high school sports. You were great at both football and baseball. If you were in Louisville's spot and Alliance's spot, which is a bigger target right now? The number 1 seed or defending state champs?
I mean, defending your state champ, like, that's obvious, but it also depends, like, as a coach, now I feel that a number 1 seed is also very, very important for the next year, for the upcoming year. That presents itself a lot of opportunity for your placing with the games and whatnot, but you want to defend that champ. I mean, I want to be a champ to the day I die, so I got to defend it.
Of course, that's obviously going to be the key. And now we go, how do you go about defending it? Looking at the player averages / points per game averages, Alliance is averaging 65.8 points per game while allowing 51.8. The defense and the offense combining, defense Alliance, offense Louisville, they match up quite well. 51.8 compared to 50.3 points per game for Louisville. The big discrepancies, points per game allowed, 53.7. The Louisville defense, one of the stronger ones in the area, but Alliance, 12 points above par in that regard.
Yeah, Alliance, to win this game, you have to understand that these guys they're low-key just physically better. Like, physically taller, better athletes. They just are. But you have the ability to come together as a team. Like I said earlier, you have to be the best team on the court, not the best individual player. So come together as a team and you will win this game. Your biggest thing is play the best defense that you've played all year. Because these guys are physically a little bit better than you, a little bit more scary, you know, they have the opportunity to make that last in your head too. They have that opportunity to give you that fearsome look while you're still on the court. But you have to overcome that. And you have to just be better today on the defensive aspect. You have a lot of offensive talent. So just use that.
Alliance, they are taking the floor for the first time for some of their warm-ups. Still a half an hour to go until this game gets underway, but we will toss it back down to the floor and step aside. When we return, it's time to talk about the other end of this district. A great matchup going on right now in Akron. Who's going to get the win? The Rams of Akron Garfield, or is it going to be the Bearcats of Bedford representing the Cleveland area in the district championship game on Saturday at Strongsville? All roads for everybody leads to Dayton. But as for Saturday, all roads right now lead to Strongsville High School. With that, we'll toss things downstairs officially as you are watching the SmeeSports pregame show on the SmeeSports YouTube channel in partnership with Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance. Welcome back to the Harry Fields Gymnasium in Alliance as you are watching the SmeeSports pregame show on the SmeeSports YouTube channel in partnership with Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance. Once again, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening and leading pregame show discussions tonight, if you will. A new panel. 3 segments, 3 different panels. Graham and DC have bumped out for now. Bryce, your voice is struggling. Glad you're here for this section because, well, you and I have something in common tonight. When we talk about the bottom part of this bracket, Bedford and Akron Garfield, we're the only 2 here that have seen them both play.
Yeah, and
I take that back. Sarah has as well.
yeah, she has, but she doesn't do anything. We all know that. But we saw really good showings from both Akron Garfield. I mean, the Akron Garfield game was incredible. That was one of the craziest games we've seen all year, the double overtime. But Bedford also put on a great showing. So we saw a lot from them. We've seen a lot from both those squads. I think we saw a little bit from them last year as well. So great teams.
Let's start with the Bedford Bearcats, the road team tonight, led out by Jermaine Gay in his 2nd season as the head coach. He has a nice core, and that's what he brought back from last year. Kevin Woodgett, he is the leading guard for them. But don't forget about A.J. McGinney, the Lutheran West transfer. He is still playing, he is active, and those 2 make up one of the biggest 1-2 punches in the entire Cleveland area.
Yeah, McGinney's done a great job. He's very, very athletic, slasher type of profile, can get to the rim easily. He can also hit those shots. Really good at hitting his step backs. But Woodgett, man, he can score on all 3 levels. He's a phenomenal ball player. I think he had 6 threes when we saw him at Neo Youth Elite. He was spraying it all over the court.
And the thing with him, he had 24 points, a game high in that one. But Lutheran West played them really, really tough. Of course, we had the text at the end of the game, which I believe you and I both agree were very controversial given what they were on. But Bedford, they proved that they could squeak out a victory against anybody.
Yeah, the techs were weird. You know, getting a tech for being too close to the baseline, bizarre. It was such a weird ending to that game, and there's going to be a lot of controversy. But Bedford is a very, very good team. They're very, very focused. I think they have a great chance to go into Akron Garfield tonight and get an upset.
Let's talk about the Rams. Early reports are suggesting that Rayshawn Hamilton's season is done. All we saw was on his Instagram page earlier today, he posted a cryptic post saying, 5 out, job's not finished. Which, in its own way, is an oxymoron. If you're saying 5 out, you're done, but if the job's not finished, it's a really weird paradox there of what is to be believed, but per sources, he is done for the season.
I have 0 clue what an oxymoron is, but I'll agree with you.
2 conflicting ideas.
Yeah, then exactly that. It definitely is a contrast to each other. It hurts if you're Akron Garfield. It's not what you want to see. You want to see one of your best players, one of the best players in Neo basketball competing in the playoffs. It's unfortunate that his season had to end, but he is going to be playing at the collegiate level, assuming that everything works out.
Hopefully he does somehow find a way back this season. It could be just for 1 game. It could also be mind games. We'll see if Akron Garfield wins tonight, if they play on Saturday, if he's going to be there or not. If he's not playing, then, well, you have your answer. If he is, then, well, you know what? You have your answer that way, too. It's an interesting one, but he is not the entire team. I mean, some people might say, yes, Rayshawn Hamilton is the entire team, but you have to talk about a great player in Monty Thompson. Our buzzer beaters this season, it's basically been the Thompsons. We saw it with Thompson over at McKinley, Davey Thompson. He had that buzzer beater to force overtime in this building. But you go back to that game against Euclid, Monty had the deep 3 to tie it up in regulation. And then, in the end, he was able to find the winning basket off a miss to knock off Euclid in double overtime, who in Division III, Euclid right now, is a number 3 seed and a team that easily can make it to the regional tournaments.
Yeah, and he hit 3 shots that game that were just absurd. He hit that double pump fake from the logo 3 to finish, I believe it was the first quarter, maybe the first half. And then, obviously, that turning around, fading away, falling back, mid-range to win the game was just absurd.
And in the meantime, you can hear the boos. Here come the Louisville Leopards. Obviously in enemy territory tonight, but looking behind us, Bryce, Leopard Nation is here.
Yeah, they're showing out pretty well. I wish I saw my former teacher, Miss Gang. She left Glen Oak and went to Louisville, I just found out. I wish she was here. She's a great teacher. But Louisville always travels well. They do a great job with their programs. You know, coming off a state championship, I would expect that. You want to see your team go back to back. I think that's a tough road, as you guys have already talked about in pregame. It doesn't look great for them to do that, but you never know.
Of course, it starts tonight, but we did see them in action here on the 9th. That game went in favor of Alliance, but going back to Akron Garfield here, they're an interesting team. They're kind of a spotty team. They did win the Akron City Series. I'll give them that. They won that, and they're Akron City champions, and that's huge. My question is game speed. Whichever team wins, can Alliance keep up with that game speed? The fastest team they've seen all season was Massillon, and they lost. And here come the Alliance Aviators.
Yeah, it's loud in here now.
Always is. So going back to it, game speed. Can Alliance do it?
I think they can. It wasn't a terrible game against Massillon. They struggled on the fast break, obviously, which another team, they're not necessarily the same coming from Youngstown, but Canfield also played quick. They had a lot of transition buckets, and Alliance found a way. Now, there were some interesting calls throughout that game. There's a lot of things that didn't go Canfield's way. They got really cold at the end, but I think Alliance can play quick and fast-paced if they need to.
But you and I both know, if we're talking about Bedford, they define the term grimy. Same with Akron Garfield in Cleveland. It's just so much quicker, so much more scoring. They score 60 to 65 a game. That's no issue for Alliance. But if this gets to 80, 85, can they keep up?
I think it can. I mean, we saw it. I always want to say Minerva. It's not right. Northwest. 70 range game. I think they can handle that.
Final question for you, Bryce. It's a tough one. Bedford or Akron Garfield? Who is moving on to Strongsville for our district championship game on Saturday night?
It's going to be Bedford by 8.
I have Bedford winning that game as well. You can predict this one. Alliance Louisville. Who's beating the Bearcats in Strongsville?
It's going to be Alliance. It's not going to be close.
And then from there, who's winning the district? Who's going off to Toledo?
I really want to say Alliance. My gut tells me not to.
And you have made enemies with both of our viewing parties tonight.
Yes, I have.
By that decision still?
I'll live by it.
You got a score prediction for the district championship?
No, absolutely no idea.
Fair enough, but we'll toss things back down to the floor here. 16 minutes until tip-off, but that'll do it for the SmeeSports pregame show on the SmeeSports YouTube channel in partnership with Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance. When we return, it is time for our starting lineups and the opening tip. Once again, as well, if you are living in the city of Alliance, you can watch this game live on Channel 1022 itself, along with this current broadcast link. Do not go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna get fun in here. It's gonna get loud. And to quote Third Coast Hoots, it is going to get grimy. Once again, this has been the SmeeSports pregame show on the SmeeSports YouTube channel in partnership with Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say first, all glory to God. Without him, I am nothing.
Power the shove. Neighbor Nation, we will see you on Saturday afternoon. Riley Meister gets the point.
Back into left field. Say goodnight to that baseball.
This is another one. It's back to back jacks for KSU Tuscarawas. Needs a point, and it's alive. Hits and pushes it over. Unbelievable. We play on. It's blocked. We're tied. We're tied. Unbelievable. The road to Dayton continues once again tonight at Harry Fields Gymnasium on the campus of Alliance High School as you are watching OHSAA basketball on SmeeSports in partnership with Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance. And we send a special word of welcome to our Alliance residents watching via the channel right now. Hello friends, Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening live on the SmeeSports YouTube channel and on Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance. In a few moments after pregame, we will be having Cooper Fontaine join the broadcast as he once again, for the final time this season, will lead us in our Alliance Aviator player introductions. As well, in a bittersweet way, Alliance says goodbye to an all-time legend in Ray, the PA announcer, after 40 years in the job. Tonight is his final game behind the mic for the Alliance Aviators. Back in the day, he won a state title as a member of the football team. A bittersweet day for Ray, who turned 84 years young earlier on this year. But looking at this matchup, this is going to be one of the best games that we see all year. We've seen this matchup already once, and in the end, it went in favor of the Alliance Aviators, 64-47. Based on that result, you might think this is a clear-cut game. That gets rid of the second half of that contest. That was one of the best second halves that Louisville has played all season. The best, their last game. Down by 10 at the half to Aurora, they roared back in that game, led by Cohen Rogers, who had 22 of his 28 points in that second half to take down the Greenmen 60-51, a 9-point win for the number 29 seed, who also is the defending Division III state champion. And as we've been told, and as we've said, they are the defending state champions until they lose again. Is that more powerful than the 1 seed on their home floor in a rivalry game? That remains yet to be seen. But this one proving to be electric already as we look around Harry Fields Gymnasium. The Alliance student section, it is filled. The Louisville student section, it is filled. Behind us, the visiting stands are pretty much filled. The Louisville Leopards are here to watch their program, the program, against the Alliance Aviators, the Hot Shots of Stark County, who look to make it to the Division III District Championship game to try and win their first district title since the 1981-82 season. So long in the making, 44 years to be exact. They want a district title. They want to make it back to regionals, but the Louisville Leopards, they want another state title. But that is the big picture. Tonight, they want to spoil the party of their rivals on their home floor in the OHSAA tournament. With that in mind, we'll toss things downstairs to our in-house public address announcer, Ray, one final time in his career as he gets us underway with our pregame announcements, the national anthem, and our player introductions. It's the Aviators and the Leopards up next on SmeeSports and Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance.
Gymnasium, the home of the Alliance Aviators. We live in the greatest country in the world with freedoms like no other. To honor America and in respect for all who have served our country and those who are still serving our country to defend the freedoms we enjoy, we ask gentlemen to please remove their hats and everyone that is able to please stand for the playing of our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner. members of the Ohio High School Athletic Association extends to each of you a cordial welcome to this sectional final basketball tournament game in Division III between Alliance High School and Louisville High School. The athletes playing here today are friendly rivals as members of opposing teams. The officials assigned to this game have been selected by the basketball coaches in Ohio who assisted approved by the board of directors. The officials for this game are Robert Lee, Frank Felix, and Mark Smotrilla. The athletes, coaches, and officials are guests of Alliance High School. And you are requested to so regard them and to treat them in keeping with the ideals of good sportsmanship. In perception and practice, good sportsmanship shall be defined as those qualities of behavior which are characterized by generosity and genuine concern for others. Now to meet the teams. The visitors on the scoreboard, the Louisville Leopards. Head coach, David Worth. Assistant coaches, Derek Bailey, Drew Meister, Corey Perez, and Jim Worth. The Louisville non-starters, number 4, Jake Baker. Number 5, Dean Stoker. Number 10, Katie Balcon. Number 22, Luke Holden. Number 25, Colton Gordy. Number 30, Max Matthew. Number 32, Zach Bolden. Number 33, Blake Carr. Number 35, Chase Wilson. Number 40, Noah Dickus. The Louisville starters, number 3, Colton Morris. Number 11, Cody Zoller. Number 12, Drake Wilson. Number 13, Brandon Sanders. And number 20, Taylor Rogers. Now to meet your Alliance Aviators. Head coach, Chuck Harper. Assistant coaches, Corey Steger, Rich Jackson, Tim Lane, Jerry Stratter, Don Murphy, and Justin Wood. Your aviator non-starters, number 30, Salem Williams. Number 35, Michael Hardy. Number 24, Demontre Gurley. Number 0, Kevin Briskin. Number 2, Tarjay Nicholson. Number 4, Ravon Hopkins. Number 5, Braylon Sears. Number 10, Chester Hartford Jr. Number 12, Kavion Thomas. And number 20, Channing Jellison. Now for your aviator starter.
And forward standing 6'3", two-year starter and EDC honorable mention, it's Mr. Hustle, Senior number 32, Cole Pasco. At center, standing 6'7", 2-year starter, EBC second team and Stark County second team. The junior wearing the big blue, number 22, Sam Payne. At guard, standing 6'4", 3-year varsity starter, EBC second team, and Stark County honorable mention. It's junior number 11, Arthur Lawrence. At point guard, standing 5'8" and leading the Aviators in flight, 2-year starter and EBC second team. It's senior number 3, K.B. Burton. And last, but certainly not least, a non-standing 6'1", 4-year starter, 2-time All-Ohio Card, 2-time EBC Player of the Year. Aviator fans, make some noise for Stark County's Player of the Year, the senior number 1, ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Jackson.
Every single time here at Harry Phil's Gymnasium, it seemingly just gets louder and louder with every set of introductions. Once again, a great job by Cooper Fontaine, our very own color commentator, who will be joining us here in a few moments. So proud of him and the growth that he has had this year. First of all, I want to take a second to brag about Cooper before we get underway. Joining us as an intern in August, he has done such a great job and has grown so much, not only as a commentator, but also as a person. And just as I'm done talking up Cooper, here he is as well. Once again, great job, Coop.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It's good to be back. Just a few days, we were here calling the Akron Firestone game, but it's a whole different environment already.
It definitely is. How loud was it down there?
Oh, dude, it was insane. You have no idea how hard I was trying to keep my focus while I was also reading off of my script and announcing each of the players.
Time locally as we are underway is 7:10. Alliance will control the opening tip. Alliance winning 75-52 last time out on Friday against the Akron Firestone Falcons. Down low, J.R. Jackson opens up the scoring. A beautiful backdoor cut from J.R.
Great job moving the ball around by the Aviators. A nice way to get the scoring started off fast, as there's still residual smoke from the smoke machines in the house.
And there will be for a long time. For the first time this evening, here comes the Louisville Leopard offense, led out by Cohen Rogers, averaging 13.8 points per game. Here comes Saunders, kicks it to the corner. Zaylor taking his time, and here come the boos from the Aviator student section. It is going to be a lot of booing tonight from those guys. Wilson driving in the lane, in the double team, and the and one! What a start for the Louisville offense.
How about the high finish off the glass? Gets the foul and the bucket. That is just a nice play all around.
And for the first time tonight, we will head off to our video replay to watch that one back. A beautiful finish from Drake Wilson. 7.6 points per game this year, and he is on the board in a big way in this district semifinal.
Yeah, that was a crowd silencer. Even how big, you look at how big this Aviators crowd is, probably the biggest of the year, but the pressure is nothing for him as he adds the free throw.
Louisville, their first lead of the evening, up 3-2. This one could be a higher scoring affair than expected, but still very early on. 1 minute down each team with the basket, but Louisville up by 1. Cole Pasco, a big game last time out with 10 points and a whole host of defense. One of 5 Aviators scoring in double figures. Jackson picks up Burton in the corner, under the basket, arcs it around for Cole Pasco. Down low, Parker Woods on the high point pass, boxing inside, his fadeaway is good.
Just great job there by the Aviators, working it around and getting exactly the shot they want, which, I might add, Parker Woods has been phenomenal with his turnaround mid-range game.
Now here comes Zaylor, double teamed on the baseline, high pass and poked out of bounds, last touching Sam Hayes. And Sam Hayes, he is truly Mr. Do-It-All for the Alliance Aviators, averaging 9.1 points per game and 5.1 rebounds. You compare him to Braden Sanders, Brandon Sanders, excuse me, that's his comparison on Louisville's end. 7.8 points per game, 5.2 rebounds. Very comparable players. And a wide open three on the far side, can't fall. Zaylor can't get it to go, but the putback is good. And there he is, Brandon Sanders, Mr. Do-It-All.
And that was right after the missed three, after the Leopards absolutely lost Cole Pasco, but turning defense into offense, easy 2 points.
The offense is going blow for blow early. 4 possessions combined, 4 baskets. 5 if you want to add on the free throw. Hayes matched up with Sanders, trying to fight his way inside. Sanders pokes it away, and Hayes will get coffin cornered. And Alliance will have to reset their offense. A lot of pressure early on in this one from the Louisville Leopard fans, along with the players. But those fans, they traveled really well down the road tonight. Sam Hayes fighting past Sanders. Again, Hayes driving, hooks it off of Pasco, and it goes the other way.
And after such a slew of nice moves from Sam Hayes, you hate to see that be the pass that goes out of bounds. Just that one mistake has turned the whole possession in favor of the Leopards.
And you could hear the student section of Louisville. They are loud, and so are the rest of their fans. Every Alliance mistake, it is going to get amplified even more.
And these two teams, while they're not in the same conference anymore, they are absolutely rivals. They used to play in the NBC together, and there is a bit of bad blood. This is playoff basketball if I've ever watched it.
And here comes Cohen Rogers, just a bit shy on the deep three from the far side logo. And here comes J.R. Jackson in transition for the Aviators. 5:15 on the clock in the first, and Jackson has it taken away via the jump ball, and it will be possession Louisville.
Now, I like that call of the jump ball. This is playoff basketball. You have to let them get a little bit physical. Problems arise, though, as we saw in the Firestone game, when the referees lack consistency. And that is when the fans get upset, and that is when you see a little bit of turmoil.
But Louisville, they understand the formula. Shut down J.R. Jackson, and you can win this game. Along with that, get the three ball going, and that'll be a big key as well. Wilson. 4:55 on the clock in the first quarter. And that Alliance student section in full force tonight. Rogers on the handoff. Top, it's going to be Cody Zaylor. Far side in the corner, it's Wilson. Can't get that one to go either. And it's Cam Burton the rebound, has Woods in transition. It's still KB, he will take it himself. And here comes J.R. Jackson to the rescue. Now a wide open Sam Hayes. Can't get that one to go. Well, too strong on the wing three. And Sam Hayes right away takes it back, and he will jam it in.
Sam Hayes says, I'm having none of those shenanigans, and packs that one home with a powerful height. You know, maybe white men can't jump.
Talk about a player who just made a mistake, making up for it. Here comes KB with the steal, and he will lay it in.
And how about this from the Alliance Aviators? These fans are going absolutely crazy. Timeout Louisville. Aviators out of nowhere.
A quick 4-0 swing, but all that started from the hustle of Sam Hayes. What a steal and jam. Obviously, given the height, you expect him to be able to jump, but we really haven't seen it all season.
Yeah, the only real big dunk I've seen from him was in that Marlington game, which unfortunately we did not broadcast, and there was no one else broadcasting, but you look at the huddle highlights. Sam Hayes went up and at Cam Evanich in that game.
I'm trying to think where I was. Mount Union opening night for men's volleyball. That's why we didn't do it.
Yeah, and that was at Marlington too, so all the Marlington fans were pretty shocked. I couldn't be there, unfortunately, either. But you know what? Word spreads fast.
It always does. And I'll tell you a fun story about that. I did Mount men's volleyball on Saturday. Some of my calls found their way to the bench before I made it down for postgame interviews. Word travels fast.
Wow, that's crazy. That might just be the SmeeSports fan base right there.
We did get a chant on Sunday, though, from Jack Brown. I will say that.
You got to love it.
Back to the action. 8-5 Alliance up by 3 early in this one on a 4-0 run as things stand. But Louisville, a strong start of their own, trying to recalibrate here out of the timeouts. Rogers, far side for Zaylor. Zaylor driving past Cole Pasco on the baseline. Getting shifty, now outside for Rogers again. 3:50 left to go in the opening frame. 8-5 Alliance up by 3. And, of course, Rogers is the man of the hour, scoring 28 last time out. Norris, a good hook move into the corner. Matthew plays it low for Norris, and it's off the inside iron. And a strong rebound for Sam Hayes, and he will draw the foul, the first one of the night on Louisville.
Great job by Sam Hayes, able to just get a little contact and staying on his feet. If he's picked up that pivot foot, that's a travel Louisville ball right under their own basket.
And they know how to double team him the right way, trapping from both sides. They understand the assignment as a defense, this Louisville team looking a lot better than they did back on December 9th.
Absolutely, and they're a fantastically coached team. They're an absolute organization at the end of the day.
I mean, looking back at year one of Dave Wirtz at the helm for the freshman team, they're now seniors. They know how to play for him, and same with these guys who were on JV last year. Woods, a really deep two off the front iron. KB gets a piece of it, loose ball. Burton will pick up the rebound. And it's going to be a timeout called by Chet Harper.
Wow, great job by Coach Harper there. Able to call that timeout while KB had the ball, and great hustle by KB, getting on the floor, getting a little bit dirty early in the game, able to get that in possession of the Aviators.
During this timeout, we'll take a look at the coaching matchup tonight. Chet Harper versus Dave Wirtz. Wirtz in year number one at the helm is 9-14, but you add up his stats from coaching JV and freshman, 45-33 in his time as the Louisville Leopards coach. Among those levels, as for Chet Harper in year number three, 45-25, both at 45 wins. The winner tonight gets up to 46.
The one statistic that I have to say about Coach Harper is you look at almost half of those wins. They came from that first season. His past two seasons have been marginally more successful as soon as he came to the helm. This is a school that he played for in his high school playing days. He knows the community, and he knows his team better than anyone.
And that's the key, knowing the school. And that is exactly what they wanted from the hire, going from Coach Sean Witherspoon, picking up Coach Chet Harper. It was a great move by, I believe, Tim Goodman. I believe he was the AD at the time. I believe that's when he replaced the late Lonnie Reich. Jellison down low, can't keep it alive. In the end, does pick it back up. Out to Hayes, clear the lane, but it's stripped away. Sanders with the steal, up to Zaylor, only Jackson to beat, and he does.
Make it a one-point game. The Leopards never out of it.
Never will be at this point in the game. Nicholson, corner three. Can't get that one to fall, and Jellison has it taken away by Cohen Rogers, but Jackson reciprocates the steal. And that's the gutsy kind of play we're going to see from Louisville all night. Jackson spins back, pulls the reverse.
Oh, wow, looking shifty. That's a Steph Curry, Chris Paul-esque kind of, a smaller guard. Just get shifty, turn around, back to the basket, easy bucket. Great
job. To go
job
the cha-cha slide, he's telling everybody to clap their hands. 10-7 Alliance up by 3 in the opening frame. It's Sanders at the top, immediately clobbered. Now Cohen Rogers. Rogers averaging 13.8 points per game, one of two players on the team in double figures. The other one, Caden Bolcom, inactive due to transfer rules tonight. Sanders down low, trying to find space on Sam Hayes, gets an avenue and takes it.
How about that? Able to stay planted on that pivot foot. That is the name of the game with these bigs. They're both fantastic down low. It's about how well you can play defense and stay on the ground.
And his patience, too, unmatched.
Absolutely.
A minute 40 on the clock in the first quarter. An open three for Sam Hayes. Can't knock it down. And there is the strong board for Cody Zaylor. And it's off to the races for Cohen Rogers. And he can't knock down the three. Sanders the rebound. It's another chance for Louisville as it goes out of bounds, last touching the Aviators.
The only thing I have to say right now, if you're the Aviators, hit the threes. There's only one thing that I've seen that's really been left to be desired, and it's just Sam Hayes knocking down those threes. He does a great job rebounding. He does a great job in the post. Right now, if he hits those threes, they're easily up 6.
We have no threes quite yet for either team. Sanders spinning inside for the lead. Off kilter, rebound, Cash Brisker.
And great defense down low by Channing Jellison, using that 6'6", 6'7" frame to lock it down.
Now it's Cam Burton trying his luck, and it's off points. Rogers the rebound, boxing out Nicholson, and it's going to be a double dribble.
Wow, great job by everyone who stayed back on defense, forcing that double dribble. It'll remain Aviators' possession. Aviators student section is really
no chill tonight.
Really loud.
It'll be Cam Burton to inbound on the free possession. Brisker fighting his way inside, clobbered from behind, no foul, and Jellison puts it away on the third time of asking.
And who else but Channing Jellison, the main man on the cleanup crew.
And you look at his presence off the bench, of course, had the game winner against Northwest early on in the season, but a lot of guys stepping up just like him, and that time on the near side, Tajay forces him to make a mistake.
Great job on defense so far by the Aviators. They're so loud. They're like disrupting my train of thought right now.
They got to get more creative than just the one.
Yeah, you need a little more. I will say it's pretty intimidating though. At the end of the day, when you have this many kids at a game, yelling at you, you have to be able to overcome that pressure as a player.
40 seconds left to go in the first quarter. At the top, Channing Jellison at the elbow, trying to find some space. Now Parker Woods. Woods, plenty of power to drive inside, but he will cough it up. Jellison gets a piece of it. It'll go off the ref and stay in play, and that'll benefit the Leopards, but Parker Woods kicks it out of bounds.
Showing the soccer skills there, Parker Woods, who is a fantastic player. We did a lot of Alliance soccer games this year, and well, he's showing us a little more of that fall sports action in the
I
winter.
feel like we see that from a lot of the soccer players who play basketball, a lot of those kick balls. But Louisville, they get possession. They got to inbound first of all, and they get it in just in time to Drake Wilson. That could have been a really costly turnover from the Leopards, but here comes their offense. Sanders down low, beautiful outlets to Cohen Rogers, and Rogers is just a bit shy on the three. Baker picks it up, one more chance, 15 seconds on the clock in the first. Louisville holding for the final shot, trying to tie this one up. In the wing, Cohen Rogers off balance, goes top for Cody Zaylor, driving inside, and it's swatted by Tajay Nicholson. One more chance at the buzzer, and it's wide left. Excellent
Great
defense from
defense.
Nicholson and the Aviator defense.
That's exactly where I was going with that. You look at Tajay and the whole Aviator defense, able to keep their composure even in a short time situation and able to play fantastic defense. Leopards remain at a 3-point deficit rather than being able to close that to a 1 point or even tying the game.
But as expected, Cooper, this one a lot closer than the first meeting.
Yeah, definitely. You look at the way these teams develop over the season. Cheney has developed so well. That is a team that Alliance beat earlier this year. But over the time that, that latter end of the season, they just went on a winning streak. They beat St. Vincent St. Mary. You look at the wins that these teams are picking up. It's just amazing how they develop throughout the year.
And then the opposite for Louisville down the stretch, losing their last 7 games. But again, for the sake of the argument, St. Ed's, St. Ignatius, Lutheran West, Canton Central Catholic, St. Vincent St. Mary, Glen Oak, Jackson. If I had to play those teams all in a row, I'm not showing up for school.
No,
I'm hiding.
That's an absolute gauntlet. Not quite, I would say that's a little bit worse than what you look at the Aviators played in the middle of the year, which was a whole bunch of Federal League matchups and Massillon.
I would say Louisville's stretch was tougher.
That's what I said. I said Louisville's was definitely harder.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, still teams that have gone through a lot this season and have been able to make it to the playoffs either way.
Without the state champion players, Louisville played a state championship schedule.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
But they're battle tested and they're ready to go here. Down by 3 as we begin quarter number 2 on the SmeeSports YouTube channel. 12-9 your score, as well this game streaming live on Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance. Jellison now in the double team, has it taken away. Strong defense from Colton Norris, and there is the off-ball foul on Channing Jellison.
Right now, if you are Coach Harper, you got to tell your bigs one thing. Strong hands in the paint. The balls keep getting stripped away, and you keep turning the ball over down there. That is not what you want to happen, especially when you have this much size. You got to be strong.
And going back to Holy Name, my junior and senior year, the big reason why they dropped in the playoffs in the sectional championship, 1 year against Benny, the other year against Alliance, their bigs got in foul trouble way too early. And that was the key difference. Rogers trying to find some space. Brisker, the strong defense. And in the end, Drake Wilson there to relieve him. 7:25 on the clock until halftime. 12-9 Alliance up by 3. But Louisville right against the threshold. Rogers fighting for some room on Channing Jellison. Now down low, another move towards Wilson, or rather Sanders that time. And it's going to be thrown out of bounds. And this one stays with Louisville. But a lot of grit from this Alliance defense.
Absolutely. The one thing I will say is Alliance has a lot of straight-up defensive players. You look at Channing Jellison. Obviously, he's a force in the paint. The man is 6'7", and Cole Pasco, who neither of them do that much scoring generally, other than grabbing rebounds and getting putbacks. But their defense, they play so well.
Sanders playing it out wide for Cohen Rogers. Shy again, and there is Braylon Sears picking up the pieces. A starter last year, now maybe the 6th or 7th man. He has taken that role quite nice. And same with Cash Brisker, an increased role this year, and he is making the most of it this campaign. And right there as well with his first basket. Alliance now up by 5. And that is huge for Cash Brisker and for Braylon Sears. Now far side, an open look for Matthew, and he knocks it down. There's the first 3 of the evening.
The one thing I will say is the Aviators have done a great job defending the 3-ball, as that is the first of the evening as well.
Now Alliance trying to answer with one of their own. Nicholson a bit shy, and it's Norris the rebound. But I was talking to YSN Zone, who's not here tonight, Rob Johnson, the voice of the Leopards. I said, hey, listen, Louisville hits 10 threes tonight, I think they win.
I agree with you.
1/10 away there, and oh my goodness, Tajay Nicholson. A big-bodied block, and Alliance takes it right back.
He absolutely glassed that poor man. Goodness gracious.
He's a part of the Video Production Career Tech program here at Alliance High School on his own channel. He is doing a great job tonight off the bench. And here he comes wanting more.
Especially on defense. I mean, he's got 2 blocks right now, and they've both been beastly.
Sears spins out of that hit from Rogers, has Woods wide open. And he can't get it to go. And it's poked down by Sanders over Jellison. A big rebound for the Louisville Leopards. But now the defense of Alliance not giving up. And finally, Louisville clears the timeline. Here comes Sanders in transition, hopping over Jellison, kicks it out wide for Cohen Rogers. Rogers driving and swatted away. And there is the foul most likely on Channing Jellison.
Yeah, just a little too strong there. Channing Jellison, at the end of the day, you're bigger. That's going to happen more often. If you're that tall of a guy and you're that strong, if you contest like Cam Burton contests, you're going to get called for a foul. KB's probably not.
So here comes Cohen Rogers to the charity stripe. So far tonight, no points. But now is where he can change that and potentially tie this game up at 14. First of 2 for Rogers is good. And the leading scorer for the Louisville Leopards is on the board for the first time in the district semifinals. He is a guy that has to get going here in quarter number 2. I mean, as of last Friday, he is a second half player, but you got to play a full 32. And he will tie it up at 14.
Ice cold.
So Louisville as a team now 3 for 3 from the line. Alliance yet to have a chance for free throws.
And Coach Harper was not happy that they were given the opportunity to even tie it up. J.R. Jackson coming back in the game.
And here comes Sam Hayes in the corner, and he knocks it down. Alliance back on top with their first made 3 of the ball game.
And that's exactly what you want to see from Sam Hayes.
And again, another steal for Sam Hayes. Alliance is not done. Sears can't get that one to go. Woods the rebound, and it's an over-the-back foul. And that's the right call there.
Yeah, I think that, again, that's a call that you have to make. Although, you know what? If you're Parker Woods, you got to think in your mind that, you know what, I'm just stronger than him. That's the way you have to keep that mindset.
And I would agree.
It's about, what do you say? You got to have a 2-second mindset. Just once it happens, forget that it happened.
So 4:50 left to go here until halftime. And here come the Louisville Leopards. Rogers trying to find some space now in the corner. Norris inside, a beautiful look at Sanders, and he will lay it in. Now 17-16. And now 6 points for Sanders on the evening. Parker Woods fighting his way inside to match it. Can't get that one to go. And Louisville a chance to take back the lead. 4:20 left to go until halftime. Sanders at the top, and he will give it back out wide to Rogers. Louisville taking their time here. They know what they can do, and they want to set up the best offense possible. And you can see the fans right there, and they are happy so far, as they really should be. And there is the foul on Alliance. Their 4th of the quarter. Louisville a clean frame thus far. And just like that, Alliance has no more fouls to give.
You know, at the end of the day, you cannot, you can't give up fouls like that. There's no need for that. You are currently leading by 1 point. This is a generally slower Louisville Leopards offense. Play to their pace. Don't force anything.
And it's a turnover right back to Braylon Sanders. Or rather than Sears, excuse me. Sears on the opposite end will lay it in.
Sears took it all the way himself. Just pushing that pace so well, like the Aviators love to do.
And this one's overthrown, kept alive, but that'll help the Aviators. Burton to the top for Jackson, and he will take his time picking up Braylon Sears. Advantage Alliance right now. It's KB, his 3, rolls around the world and won't fall. And it's Matthew with the rebound.
Right now, the Aviators just need to hit 3s. They're getting a good amount of shots. They're just not falling.
Rogers with 3:30 on the clock until halftime. A lower scoring affair tonight. Louisville really appreciating that as things stand. And there's the foul on Cam Burton. It's their 5th.
All right.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, granted, I'm an Alliance fan. I think there's been at least one of those that you could have called on Louisville.
So here comes the first of two for Sanders. No good.
You have to capitalize off those. Those are coming out of the bonus. That wasn't even a shooting foul.
And now this might be a spot that you say, hey, if we don't get this, we have to make a play off the ball. But you want the points more than an opportunity to take two here. And they can't get that one to go either and won't get the rebound. So two big misses for Sanders, and Alliance catches a massive break. Still up by 3, still in control with 3:15 on the clock in the first half. Pasco, top picks up Cam Burton. Burton driving in, and he will poke it out of bounds on his own accord.
Thought about passing back to the man rotating, but that was not the play there. A costly turnover with 3 minutes left. The Louisville Leopards have a serious opportunity to turn the tide.
And here come the You Look Stupid chants in response. And that one's right out of bounds. So a rough flow of play for both teams as of late.
Oh, the irony. Right after the, oh, okay, there we go. I have a feeling it's going to be a serious back and forth throughout the rest of this game.
I have a feeling Alliance is playing Louisville based on the student section. Jackson his 3 a bit shy. Pasco picks it up. Out to Sam Hayes. Dynamite! His second 3 of the evening. Sam Hayes now has 8.
That is what Sam Hayes does best. 3-and-D, baby. But he also actually has post-game. He can attack the rim.
And now we're potentially having some extracurriculars here.
Between the officials and Louisville coaching staff.
So 2:48 on the clock until halftime. 22-16. What a job so far from the Alliance Aviators, but as well Louisville. And there is going to be, it looks like, a foul on Hayes.
No, it was off. Wait, is it?
It's on Hayes. It's free throws.
Okay, that definitely looked like a push-off. Off ball. I don't know about that one. Still 0 on Louisville, by the way.
Interesting.
That's at least that's where I'll stand on that for now.
We'll have some conversations at halftime about that, of course. But right now, all eyes are on Louisville. They missed their last 2 free throws. And now it's 0 for 3. That time Colton Doherty can't knock it down. He got hit him. If they would have made the 3 they've had so far, it's 22-19. Same again.
Wow.
0 for 4 from fouls in the bonus.
That is shocking.
And it's huge for the Alliance Aviators, a chance to pull away. Here comes J.R. Jackson, and he knocks it down!
He heard you. He hears you every time you say, Aviators with a chance to pull away. J.R. bangs one out right there.
And here is the timeout for the Leopards as they want to talk things over. Alliance up by 9, 2:32 on the clock in the first half. Well, Cooper, rest in peace that part of the railing, I guess.
Yeah, I looked down and I just saw a Alliance admin walking away with a gigantic piece of black metal, and then I took a closer look and I realized, well, the student section broke the railing.
It only took how long?
I believe it's been hanging slightly lower than that other side for years now, but that was the straw that broke the camel's back there.
And in a rivalry game, no less. Beautiful shovel down low, and Sanders will bank it in. Back to a 7-point lead for the Aviators. But a strong night so far for Alliance, in control at their home. But still, of course, this Louisville team, plenty of time for them. And we know they are a better second half team than they are a first half team. Here comes Jackson, and he will easily lay that one in past Sanders.
You look at the elevation on that layup, the English. It was just, I mean, that's poetry in motion. I say it so often, but that's just what that was a nice layup for J.R. Jackson.
So far, a gritty game on both ends. But it's Alliance up by 9, in control as we are nearing halftime. Wilson, and it's a 5-second violation. Another mistake from the offense.
And you have to credit the Aviators defense. They have done a fantastic job so far. Blocks, steals, forcing turnovers like that. I mean, the big defensive anchors, you look at Sam Hayes, Cole Pasco. Today, Tajay Nicholson. It's just all the cogs are turning for them.
And here comes the steal, a beautiful play from Zaylor, and he will lay it in on the opposite end. Maybe the spark the Leopard offense needed. He now has 4, back to a 7-point game. Maybe this is where Alliance starts to slow things down. Pasco on the near side, 1:10 left to go in the first half. Top for Sam Hayes, thought about the 3, he's made 2 so far, instead drives inside, and he will draw the foul, the first of the quarter on the Leopards.
Which, if you're Sam Hayes, you have to think to yourself, after all this time, I was the first one to draw that foul, get the contact, and head to the free throw line. You have to be proud of yourself for that. Engaging in contact is something that the Aviators do very well. All the players, when they drive in, they're looking to make a little contact. Sam Hayes, the first of 2, no good.
And that is the first free throw of the game for Alliance.
It's also the first miss free throw of the game for the Alliance.
I see what you did there. I don't hate it. And that's the first make. And then Hayes will split the pair. He now has 9. Matching J.R. Jackson, they have a combined 18 of the 28. An 8-point lead, 1 minute left to go until halftime. Can the Leopards find some magic down the stretch in the opening 16 minutes? Rogers at the O, matched up with J.R. Jackson. So far tonight, he really hasn't been a factor offensively, and it's another 5-second violation.
This Aviators defense, they can bend at will. You look at the way that they play. They can play up-tempo. They can play with those, those fast offenses, McKinley, Maslin. They can take those boys to overtime. But then they can sit down with this Stark County, like more traditional Stark County teams like Louisville, and they can play slower, methodical basketball. It is just one of their versatile components that makes this team so good.
35 seconds left to go until halftime. Is KB reminiscing on Barberton right now with that 3 at the half?
You have to.
Or even Marlington last year.
Or, hear me out, even Louisville earlier this year in the first quarter.
He may have transferred in from Canton McKinley, but he is an Aviator through and through. 15 seconds on the clock. It's go time for the Alliance offense. What can they draw up? Burton at the logo. Final 10 seconds. Jackson, a deep wing 3, and he knocks it down! A poetic basket for J.R. Jackson. Rogers at the horn. Well shy on that's halftime.
How about it? That's what you expect from J.R. Jackson. He has ice in his veins. In the clutchest of moments, he's going to hit that 3.
12 first half points for J.R. Jackson. He leads the way for both teams combined. But just looking at this offense, my goodness, it looks beautiful.
The defense as well. I mean, right now, both teams are clicking as much as they need to be. This is still a competitive matchup. Whatever stats you're looking at, the only gripe I have as a basketball watcher is with Louisville, you have to be able to clean up these 5-second violations, the little things on defense that are giving the Aviators these big opportunities to go up and score these points that are giving them, for example, this 11-point lead.
And if you're Alliance, how happy are you with where you stand? And if you're Louisville in comparison to last time, is this happiness or is this frustration that it could be closer?
I think as of right now, it has to be frustration that it could be closer. There are some threes you could have hit early. There are some better passes you could have made. There were some opportunities that you should have taken, but that's just how it is. Like, looking back at games that we lost last year, Alliance in the playoffs, that Barberton game, obviously, yes, we could have won it. It was just things that in the moment you couldn't, you can't capitalize on or take control of.
But at the break here at the Harry Phils Gymnasium, it's Alliance up 31-20 on the Louisville Leopards. As we toss things back down to the floor here in Alliance, you are watching OHSAA basketball on SmeeSports and on Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance in partnership with Channel 1022.
At our table tonight, Ray Woods is doing his last game as voice of the Alliance Aviators. We'd like to give a warm welcome and congratulations to Sugar Ray for 40 years of service to the Alliance Athletic Department. Congratulations, Ray.
Well, welcome back to the Harry Fales Gymnasium in Alliance. Your halftime score, Alliance up 31-20 on the Louisville Leopards, as you are watching OHSAA basketball on SmeeSports, along with Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance in partnership with Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance. As we toss things back up here in a few seconds, I am Nathan Smee. Alongside me today is Cooper Fontaine. An interesting first half, to say the least. Slow to start, but Alliance, they have found their rhythm. 31 first half points. They had 32 against Akron Firestone. The offense, it is basically where it was on Friday night, which I would say is not a bad thing.
Yeah, especially after a slow start like the one they had. They're definitely putting the pieces together. They're getting those three-point shots hitting, which was kind of a struggle for them in the first quarter. And above all, their defense. I think that has been their saving grace throughout everything, is their defense has just been strong. Players stepping up who we maybe don't normally see on defense. Generally, Cash Brisker is the best defensive guard. You look down low, Channing Jellison and Sam Hayes, Cole Pasco. That's what you're looking at. But today, kind of that anchor has been Tajay Nicholson, who's been doing great on his rotations. He's got 2 fantastic blocks. And I just think the defense has been the biggest part of what they've been doing, despite, you know, all the three-point barrage that we've seen from JR and Sam Hayes. JR with a last-second shot at the end going into halftime. Definitely will set the Aviators up on top going into this third quarter. They have the momentum going their way. We got to see if they can carry it through and finish strong.
And looking at a score update that we have from over in Akron, 27-24, your third quarter score. Akron Garfield on top of the Bedford Bearcats as we are ready to get back to the action here at the Harry Fales Gymnasium. 31-20. It is Louisville Leopard basketball to begin the second half, and we are back to the action. Sanders trying to find a way inside. Beautiful pass down low for Norris, and he will open up the scoring in the second half.
Smart bounce pass inside, easy floater. That's a shot you want to get, especially on a strong Alliance defense. You want to get those easy shots like that one.
And a guy like Colton Norris, who is averaging less than 2 points per game, it's big for him to get a basket like that above his season average, and now could play a little more freely from the field. Jackson, a step back three, well off kilter, and picked up in stride by Sanders. And that's going to be a foul on the floor as Parker Woods goes down.
Yeah, I missed that. Generally, I tend to follow the ball. Parker Woods, he actually appears to be injured. That is not good for the Alliance Aviators. A huge piece of your offensive scoring. Parker Woods, fantastic three-point shooter, but he's saying he wants to stay in.
And he just waved off Coach Harper. I'm not surprised that he did.
But you know what, at the end of the day, it takes cojones to do that. The big man, Coach Harper, head coach for the Aviators, generally he tends to know best, but Parker Woods choosing to stay in even after going down.
And I respect that a lot, as once again, he's a Marlington transfer. He wants to win a state title this year, and he thinks that he has enough to help out his team to do just that when it's all said and done in Dayton in a few weeks' time. Jackson at the top, 7:05 left to play in the third. He will drive inside, throws it down for Pasco, and he picks up Hayes in the wing. Excellent movement by the Alliance Aviators, still trying to find that perfect shot. And they will just continue to drill this clock. Woods makes his move on Norris, drives inside, draws the foul, and it is free throws. 2 of them for Parker Woods.
Parker Woods overcoming adversity quite literally 30 seconds ago. He went down with what looked like an injury, but right now he's at the free throw line about to shoot 2.
So 2 chances here for Parker Woods. So far tonight, 2 points. Make it 3. It might be too early to tell, Cooper, but if the Alliance Aviators score X amount of points, you're confident they win.
My pregame prediction was this is the game where the Aviators put everything offensively together. This is the game where they crack 80 points. While right now, they're not on pace for it. This is a second half team. I think if they get a huge scoring outburst, they could do it. But for me, the number for the Aviators is 70.
And the difficulty right now, you now have Parker Woods and Sam Hayes, 2 of your starters with 2 fouls. And Jackson, he pokes that one right back out of bounds. But that's going to be tough, especially if fouls 3 and 4 come in this third quarter. Okay, can Tajay Nicholson step up? Can he play more of a 4? Everybody shifts down. Can Cash come in? Do we see more Braylon Sears? What happens? That's going to be a tough one to look at when it's all said and done. Norris off the floor, picks up Sanders. Driving inside, trying to find some space, off the window and in. A beautiful line drive basket for Brandon Sanders. He now has 10.
And that is just a crafty bucket, finding a unique angle to score against a great defender in Cole Pasco.
And it is back to an 8-point game, 32-24, Alliance on top. And if you are the Aviators, you have to know the scenario well here. Burton off the window, too strong, rebound Norris. And if you're the Louisville Leopards, play this one smart, keep it slow. Score when you can, stifle the Aviators, rinse, repeat. And that's what they want to do here. Sanders finding space, and he will double dribble.
Great job defensively by Sam Hayes, forcing the double dribble, something which he's actually done really well. I believe he's forced 2 double dribbles, has a slurry of steals, maybe 2 or 3 there. Just a great job by him.
And you look at Sanders versus Hayes, those guys play the game the same exact way. And that's key. It's a like-for-like matchup, and so far, Sam Hayes, he has dominated over his sophomore counterparts. Wood spinning inside, pivoting, and finishing.
Fantastic move down low by Parker Woods. He's 6'4", but he's got that footwork that you look at in those significantly larger players.
And he is a guy who, as we said in pregame, too big to play a guard spot, too small to be a true forward. Put him at small forward, that's where he wants to be.
It's a great fit for him.
If he was at Marlington, he'd probably be their 4, with Evanich being their 5 this season. So it was a big move for him to transfer. And now here comes KB with a steal. He will boot this one, a beautiful poke away from Sanders. But Hayes able to reset the table, spinning inside and finishing off the window.
Speaking of footwork, Sam Hayes put him in the spin cycle there for a nice layup off glass.
It's Jackson and Hayes right now. Jackson has 12, Hayes has 11. Louisville running out of time. They have been pressured so heavily in their backcourts. They just need to find a way to run this offense freely, and that has been a struggle so far. Wilson down low, picks up Sanders. Fighting past J.R. Jackson, spinning right, might need the outlet. He gets it stripped away, and this one will be a jump ball. Pasco picks it up, and it is possession Alliance.
Great job defensively by the Aviators. I don't know how many times I can say that.
So 4:44 on the clock in the third, and Alliance is starting to pull away. This is what they do best. And of course, the winner of Akron Garfield and Bedford awaits up next on Saturday at Strongsville High School. A big matchup at 7 p.m. Jackson out to the wing, a deep 3 for Cam Burton. Can't get it to go, and it's Colton Norris picking up the pieces for Louisville. It's a 12-point game. It's go time for the Leopards. In transition, it's Sanders, and a beautiful layup.
Great job on the pass fake before that drive. That opens up the lane a little bit more, and that's an easy bucket in transition.
He now is matching J.R. Jackson's 12 points for the game high. Here comes Jackson, and he will get the and one. A tough finish from J.R. Jackson.
J.R. Jackson says, I got one for you. Goes up, and Adam gets the foul and the bucket, something that he does very well.
The lead back up to 12 for the Aviators, 38-26. Again, this is a rivalry, and you can definitely tell.
This is one of the most filled games that we've seen here at Harry Fales Gymnasium. One of the other two being probably that Canton-McKinley game or the Massillon game.
A lot of big games in this gymnasium. Of course, it's the home of the regional tournament for volleyball, the old home of the regional tournament for basketball. Far side, into the corner it goes. Sanders back out wide for Matthew. Just too strong, and it's going to be picked up by Cam Burton, the scrappy rebound, and Alliance has numbers going forward to the corner. Woods drives on the baseline, and he will travel.
Wow, you could hear me inhale there through my teeth. I thought he was going to try to punch one there, just didn't have it.
I think he wanted to.
Oh, he definitely wants one. You know, you look at his guard counterpart, JR, who has done his fair share of dunking this year. Parker, who's a fair bit taller as well, just wants to get one, especially in the playoffs.
Louisville down by 12, needing some answers. Inside, Zaylor. Matthew. Excellent spacing all the way around. It's Norris. Now double team. Rogers, excuse me. Now Norris. And it's taken away. It's J.R. Jackson and Sam Hayes. 2-on-1. There's the lob, and there's the layup. Beautiful connection between 1 and 22.
And that's a second playoff game in a row that they've thrown a lob to Sam Hayes. Both times, he's converted them for 2. Neither a dunk, unfortunately.
Biggest lead of the evening for Alliance, up by 14. Zaylor on the baseline, out wide for Matthew. 2:55 left to go in the third quarter. Nowhere for Matthew to go. Keeps his composure, and it goes right back to Parker Woods. And here come the Aviators on the attack. In the corner, Parker Woods double teamed, out wide. Cam Burton thought about it, slipping inside, tipped down to Cole Pasco. Now Cole thinking about it, goes top for Parker Woods. 2:39 on the clock in the third. Alliance is in rhythm. And they're not done yet. Woods takes his time, now launches the three. Can't get that one to go, just a bit shy. And it will stay with the Aviators, poked out of bounds by the Leopards.
Great job by KB fighting for that rebound. But off of Louisville Leopard, it'll stay with Alliance, and we see some substitutions being made. JR remaining, but Cash Brisker, Braylon Sears, Channing Jellison, and Tajay Nicholson coming into the game today. And they have all stepped up when it was their time. Tajay Nicholson on defense especially.
And here comes J.R. Jackson driving in a quadruple team, and he gets fouled.
J.R. Jackson is probably the only person I've ever watched come out of a quadruple team with 2 free shots. I mean, he is just, no words. That's just doing a great job getting to the rack, drawing the foul.
Well, it's on the floor, so he won't get free shots.
I thought that was a shooting foul.
Brisker on the inbound, picks up Jellison, and now it's free throws.
Took a moment there. You know what? I was seeing the future. That's what it was.
So instead of J.R. Jackson, it's going to be Channing Jellison at the line for Alliance. Once again, the winner of this game will take on the winner of Akron Garfield and Bedford on Saturday night at 7 at Strongsville High School. So a hike and a half for the winner of this game. Alliance and Louisville both. For Bedford, 30-35. Garfield, 40-45. For me, 5 minutes. You're welcome.
That's very fortunate for you, but
I'm happy about that. First to 2 is good for Jellison.
For some of these Alliance fans, you know, in the playoffs, sometimes the athletic department will set up some busing maybe for students. We'll have to see how that goes because it could get a little bit dicey if
you have to ask your pops. You got to ask Pops, Cooper.
Whoa.
And do we have a tech?
No, I think JR stepped into the lane to talk to Channing, and the referee called it a lane violation.
Interesting. So now 41-26 as well. Score update. A minute left to go in the third at Akron Garfield. It is Bedford up 38-34. Coach Jermaine Gay and company, a great effort so far. 2:10 left to go in the third here. And somehow not a backcourt violation. I guess he tiptoed the timeline the right way.
I guess. We'll have to look back at that one.
Sanders, he will go down, taken away by Brisker and Jackson. This Alliance defense stifling the Leopards. Braylon Sears in transition, knocks it down. A clean switch from Braylon Sears. He has 5. Full timeout, Louisville.
How about the Aviators just getting it going? Everyone knows what needs to happen. Braylon Sears cashing that one out and forcing Louisville to call that timeout.
Well, watch this one back, and I mean, just excellent defense all the way around by Alliance to set up Braylon Sears the way that he was set up. Chef's kiss.
Absolutely. And that's something that we see a lot from this fast-paced Aviators offense.
And as well now, 38-36 over in Akron. Bedford hanging on to that lead. That's going to be a tough finish over there as well. They will end the third quarter before we are done here. There is a chance that they end before us, but if this one continues to go the way that it's going, I don't see that happening. And Akron Garfield, they just knocked down, or rather Bedford just knocked down a 3. Now a 5-point game over there.
That's going to be a close one for sure.
Are we going to see Bedford and Alliance? That would be one heck of a matchup.
Oh, for certain. That, oh my goodness. Don't get me dreaming up already, Smee. I just love basketball. I talk about it every time. That's my sport. Playoff basketball, high school basketball. It's amazing.
And as well, officially through 3, Bedford up 41-36 on Akron Garfield. So as things stand, the Bearcats, led up by Jermaine Gaze coaching, along with Kay Wood and A.J. McGinney, will be playing at Strongsville on Saturday night in the district championship game. I'm excited for that one. I mean, even if Louisville wins tonight, them and Bedford, that's an interesting one. So a minute 51 left to go in the third, 44-26. As of late, it is all Alliance. Only 6 points this quarter for the Leopards. They have really slowed things down. Wilson takes it back top. This is where Alliance has to find a way to really close the door. Instead, it's a beautiful backdoor cut, and Zaylor puts it away. But Alliance is wasting no time on the offensive end. Here comes J.R. Jackson, and he will direct his offense. And this is it for him at Harry Phil's Gymnasium, his final home game. He wants to leave this place in style. All these seniors do.
Seniors in the crowd, seniors playing. It's just a magical night for everyone.
It's Brisker in the corner, can't get the 3 to go. Nicholson picks up the pieces and puts it away.
Is Tajay Nicholson the newest member of the cleanup crew? He might have to be, because he's been doing a heck of a good job hustling on defense today.
And that is his first basket of the playoffs. And there is the foul on Tajay Nicholson. He just had to say it.
Jinxed him. But you know what? I think as of right now, you're the Aviators. You only have 2 fouls this quarter. That may be that is the second foul this quarter, and they're already in the bonus. You can't be too unhappy about that.
So 58 seconds left to go in the third. Rogers pivoting, and in the end able to inbound. A lot of pressure right now on the Leopards to get back in this game. The defending state champions at risk of ending their season early. Sanders to the corner for Rogers. And Nicholson, he gets shoved down, and a clear charge. The moment that arm got to full extension, it was done.
Tajay, man. He might be a candidate for player of the game as of right now, because his hustle, his intangibles, non-measurables have just been huge factors in today's game.
Easily. And Alliance just in control, up by 18. Again, it goes back to coaching. It goes back to grits. Anything that you would want from this Alliance Aviator team this season, you have seen it. And they are ready to go to 22-2 on the year, but they just have to take care of business here. Sears fighting inside his mid-range, just a bit strong, but Jellison gets the rebound in the double team, hooks it up and in. A clean switch from Channing Jellison. He now has 5. Alliance back up by 20.
And that's why he's the main man on the cleanup crew. Grab offensive rebounds, get putbacks.
And Alliance getting so much pressure. Louisville, nothing to do except huck it up the floor. Final 5 seconds of the third. Here comes Cohen Rogers at the buzzer, has to get this one off, and he can't get it to go. And that is the third quarter. Alliance taking over in A-Town. 8 minutes left to go in regulation. The Aviators on the verge of making it back to the district championship game with either Bedford or Akron Garfield awaiting them at Strongsville. 8 minutes left to go in regulation here at Harry Phil's Gymnasium. 48-28 your score. It is all Alliance as of late. Cooper, what flipped in this third quarter to really give Alliance this comfortable cushion?
Well, you look at some of the depth players on the roster. They stepped up in big ways. Namely, my player, Tajay Nicholson, has done a great job so far. Channing Jellison, that'll be a foul, but he's done another as well, a great job defensively. I think it's players stepping up. The depth of this Aviators team has been able to help them through that, as well as they've been hitting more shots. They're hitting transition threes rather than just those open threes that they were missing in the first quarter.
And I would agree. And once again, you are watching OHSAA basketball on SmeeSports and on Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance. First of two is good. And that'll give Drake Wilson 4 points on the night. The sophomore is a great building block for next year. Same with Caden Balcombe and Cohen Rogers. That's your big three. And that'll be a fun group to watch in action next year. Even if their season ends tonight, Louisville, they did a great job this year. And I think they're going to have one heck of a campaign in a year's time. But they don't want to be done quite yet. It's Cohen Rogers with the steal, taking it away from Brisker. And here come the Leopards in transition. Sanders, far side, in the wing, Wilson. Can't get that one to go. And Braylon Sears will calm things down for the Aviators. A big rebound from Braylon Sears. Here comes the offense. Down low, Jellison. Hooking it up again, this time too shy, and it's Rogers with a rebound. Only 2 points for him so far, had 28 in the win against Aurora. In transition, Sanders over Jellison, has it rejected, but there is the cleanup from Drake Wilson.
Cleanup, you're taking my lines now, Smee.
Where's the pendulum?
Oh, that was earlier this year. That was a good callback.
Some nostalgia?
Yeah.
SmeeSports nostalgia. That's interesting. Sears spins out of that hit, driving down low on the baseline, and he will get fouled. First foul on the Leopards in the fourth quarter.
And some subs coming in. Coach Harper wanting to maybe extend this lead a little bit more, or maybe just one. Oh, here they come. Parker Woods coming back in, Sam Hayes, Cole Pasco, and JR. Coach Harper looking to turn it up a little bit in this fourth. Give the fans maybe a show. We'll see how it ends.
And as well, score update, 6:09 left to go in regulation, 45-42. Bedford on top of Akron Garfield. The winner of that game plays the winner of this one on Saturday in Strongsville. Burton driving on the baseline, trying to fight inside. He gets fouled, and it'll be free throws here for KB.
And you saw Parker Woods rising up at the end there, looking for a putback dunk. I mean, that's a sicko move. That is a sicko move right there.
And again, as you can kind of hear in the background, Ray Woods, this is his final game behind the PA mic as the Aviators public address announcer. After 40 years, he is stepping away from it. So congratulations to Ray on a great career here in Alliance.
KB hits the first. That's what you have to do. Hit those free throws.
Second one from KB, not going to be there. He splits the pair. So I would say a very good possession defensively for Louisville. Now the offense, they need some points of their own. Sanders fighting inside to the wing. It's Zayler. Can't get that one to go, and Parker Woods will pick up the pieces. It's a 17-point lead for the Aviators. Jackson fighting to make it 19, and he will. Another masterful finish.
Coast to coast, just fantastic play by J.R. Jackson.
Nobody back on defense, quick enough, and it's an and one quickly. Cody Zayler putting it away. He now has 8.
The Aviators, they can't fall asleep here. Yes, it's the fourth quarter. Yes, you have a double-digit lead. That does not mean that you can make it easy.
And I agree with that completely, as here comes Zayler to try and complete the three-point play. That game at Akron Garfield right now still can go either way, Cooper. We're keeping a close eye on that one, as the and one is good. And this one could still go either way. Can't forget about that.
It's not over until it's over.
Alliance can be confident, but not overly confident. Burton to the corner, picks up Sam Hayes. 6:05 left to go in regulation. Jackson takes it in the double team, drives in through the triple team, and finishes.
Great pass there by Sam Hayes, able to whip it in. JR just drives in, hits it home.
He is the complete difference. Alliance up by 18. JR has 18. Rogers out wide, picks up Wilson. This one is good. A massive three falls for the Leps.
That'll take the lead to 15. It's not out of reach.
Not at all. And now a player holding his ankle. They're going to continue to play. Woods no good. There's the foul. And he is going to hobble off. That is Cody Zaylor.
He may have just twisted his ankle getting back on defense, which you hate to see.
And here comes the freshman, Noah Ickes. 6'3", 165 pounds, 2 points per game this year. He has played in 5 contests. So this is another player that is the future of the program. So 2 free throws here for Parker Woods, first of which is good. But 54-38, you said around 70 for Alliance?
I think 70 is that number that when they hit that number, that's how you know their offense is functioning at its full potential.
Both are good there for Parker Woods. Back to a 17-point game. If you're Louisville, you gotta find a way to A, get stops, but B, get baskets. Norris down low on KB, and there is the basket. Now you have to find the stop. The issue has been they've worked independently. They'll get stops but not baskets, or baskets but not stops.
They have to go hand in hand. You have to do both at the same time.
Always one is on, though. That is the key thing. Burton driving. He goes top for Cole Pasco. 5 minutes left to go in regulation. J.R. Jackson backpedaling. He wants to take his time here. No free gifts to the Leopards here. Once again, still defending state champions. In the corner, Sam Hayes. Well shy and picked up by Norris. And they have numbers getting forward. It's Drake Wilson over Woods, and he is fouled. Foul number 3 tonight on Parker Woods. Both he and Hayes, each with 3.
Luckily, they were able. That was bad.
Whoa.
Able to tone it down in the second and third because I believe they picked up 2. They each picked up those 2 early. So I think now that you're kind of leading the game to an end and they're not really in foul trouble, it's not as bad.
And the first of 2 is no good for Drake Wilson. This is a key time for Louisville. You got to knock down your free throws. You just have to be confident right now. That's the key. To split the pair, he's got it. So Wilson now with 9. 55-41, a 14-point game. Still within reach for the Leopards. They just have to do their job defensively. Woods on the far side, trying to fight past Wilson. Gets some space, slips inside, and is shy. Rebound Wilson.
Woods wanted the foul, just didn't get it.
And here comes Sanders in transition. Louisville getting hungry. Jackson tips it away. And nearly a foul. That was a bold move hooking around him. Now in the corner, it's Ickes. The freshman can't get that one to go. It's Sam Hayes with the rebound. Immediately double-teamed, but the Aviators easily able to clear the timeline. Jackson down low for Parker Woods, and he will take the easy 2.
I'm sure Parker would have loved to dunk that, but you look at him going down earlier, that has to play a factor in his athletic ability.
And you can't get too flashy right now. You have to keep a level head. This one's not over once again. This Louisville team is so scrappy.
Take that free 2.
Exactly. Deep 3. It's Rogers. Right on line. Can't get it to go. And it's going to stay down here. And I think the kicker there, if Hayes let it go, that would have last touched Louisville.
Yeah, I think that's one where it's just going so fast. You have to be able to make that judgment so rapidly. And it's a hard decision to make, but if you let it go, that may have gone in favor of the Aviators.
So obviously this becomes the 3-point game here, Cooper. Who do you try to get on?
Well, you have to go to your best shooters and those who have the hot hand.
In the corner, well shy again. KB the rebound, and it's off to the races for the Aviators. It's Burton and Pasco. It's Burton by himself, and he big bodies his way through for the 2. I mean, all the way around, KB, he now has 5, it says on the board. We have a different number, but he has been strong all night. Wilson trying to find some space, takes the 3. Shy again. Rogers the rebound. Another chance. Matthew in the wing. In the corner, Rogers. His 3 again. Same spot missing. They're all right on line. They're all right there. Just can't get it to go, and there is the purposeful foul on Rogers. And it looks like the game in Akron has fallen a little bit behind us. 3:10 left to go over there at Akron Garfield. 57-40, or 53-47, excuse me. Bedford up by 6. But you can tell Akron Garfield from the huddle feed, they are giving it their all. The winner of that game once again takes on the winner of this one. 2:50 left to go in regulation. Alliance, they want to leave this place 22-2 on the year. And J.R. Jackson is helping their case. It's back up to a 20-point lead. Timeout, Coach Harper. And I think that is one satisfied Aviator alum.
Yeah, Coach Harper, right now, I have a feeling he's going to make some substitutions. You're going to see some new faces checking into the game, maybe some familiar faces. You might see Kavion Thomas. We'll have to see how that develops.
And the clock ran down a little bit after that, too. We have 2:44. They have 2:27. I think they're going to fix it here.
Yeah, I think I may have been slightly behind, and then they got slightly ahead, which makes for a huge time difference. We will see what they adjust that to.
But overall, Cooper, your thoughts on this matchup? I mean, early on it was back and forth as we expected, but in the end, Alliance, as they always somehow do, they found a way to pull away.
Alliance, a massive second half team. They were in football. They remain in basketball. A lot of their scoring, they really tend to get hot in that second half, which is definitely what they have done now. They have done everything they needed to get the win today. This is a fantastic Louisville Leopard squad. Last year, state champs.
And as well, for those who are watching on at home, wondering about our coverage on Saturday, assuming Alliance wins, as they will go back to 2:35 on the clock as expected, we plan on being at Strongsville High School. We still have some details to work out about that, but we should be there. 7 p.m. tip-off. Once again, winner here plays the winner of Bedford and Akron Garfield. But before that, we got 3 games. Friday at 5, a 9-inning game. It is number 9 Kellogg Community College versus Receiving Boats Tri-C. And then 12-3 again on Saturday. Once we're done with game 2, it goes into pregame at Strongsville. And then from there, it's go time. And there's the block from Cohen Rogers. It's going to be out of bounds. And it's going to last touch Tajay Nicholson. So back to Louisville. 2:30 on the clock. And here comes the 3-point chuckathon.
Yeah, well, and you may even see that from some of the Alliance seniors who just checked in. Ravon Hawkins coming in. We kind of saw it against Marlington where he had a last-second 3 at home, that was. And it was from the logo. I mean, that's just what you want to see from a senior. But Aviators looking to.
And that was thrown out of bounds by Ickes. Just miscommunication on the cut. But Louisville unable to defend their Division III crown. We will have our new Division III champion.
Yeah, I mean, as an Alliance fan, it feels great right now.
2:20 left to play in regulation as here comes KB. Up the floor, tries to pick up Hawkins, and it's taken right back by Wilson. Louisville trying to mount a last-ditch comeback. Wilson coast to coast, well shot. Ickes picks up the pieces and puts it away.
Nice job by the freshman, showing the hustle. That's exactly what your coach wants to see, even when you're losing, even when you're a freshman. That's exactly what needs to happen if you want to play a little more varsity minutes next year.
And as well as this timeout is called, the last time these two teams played, it was 64-47. That is not out of the realm of possibility tonight.
Aviators hit a 3. Louisville gets 2 twos. It's the exact same score.
And hold on a minute, 1:28 on the clock in Akron. Akron Garfield is back within 2. It's 53-51. Bedford looked to be pulling away with that one for a good while.
It's never over till it's over.
And the kicker right now is there is an injury timeout there. That is what it appears to be. But just all the way around, I think now's the time you say we're going to start looking at Saturday. And once again, we're going to have a great one on hand. It'll be a big weekend. Besides the games that we've mentioned as well, we got a doubleheader, 12-2 at Conotton Valley High School. That being a little bit south of here, it's Kent State Tuscarawas making their well-deserved and long-awaited return to the channel as they take on Penn State Fayette in a doubleheader, 12-2. It'll be myself and Bryce Fisher on the call for that one, live from probably a rainy Conotton Valley High School, which the last time we were there, it was a monsoon and we did the game under a tent, which Bryce says he has a good tent. I have a tent that probably won't fit in my car, but you know what? If he can fit the tent, we're going to be there.
Looking at this Aviators roster, 3 freshmen. Michael Hardy, Demontre Gurley, and C.J. Harper coming into the game, as well as 2 seniors, Kavion Thomas and Ravon Hawkins.
And here comes Gurley down low, not going to get that one to go. Thomas the rebound, put back a little shy. And there is the rebound down low for Blake Carr, the sophomore. It looks like both second units are now in the game. And as well as some seniors in, including Stouffer for Louisville, playing his final career game this evening. And of course, Louisville, you got to give those seniors a lot of credit. Those juniors last year, now seniors, state champions, and nothing can take that away from them. A deep 3 incoming, it's Bolden. Can't get that one to go, and it's C.J. Harper with the rebound. Alliance, though, they want a few more baskets. And a good stuff down low. It's going to be a jump ball forced by Doherty. And this one is going to stay down here.
I think if Doherty had stepped off a little bit, it would have been either a travel or a double dribble from Gurley, who looked like he jumped and then jumped again, which no bueno. But Aviators retain possession. We could see some fun buckets going on here.
And I believe that's Gurley now with the ball.
That's Hardy.
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 And now Gurley trying to get that one picked up by Norris. Not on my roster. You go to school with them. I'd hope you know which one's which.
Yeah, I told you some new faces coming into the game.
And there it is, a steal for Big K, Kavion Thomas. And here comes Ravon Hawkins trying to dribble through traffic, picked up by Norris. 45 seconds left to go. Alliance will improve to 22-2, and they will play for their first district championship since 1982 on Saturday. As for Louisville, they will end the season at 9-15 and begin preparations for the 26-27 season. And once again, we will have a new Division III champion. Incredible. So 2 champions already falling. We saw it from Monroe Central in D6, now D3, a new champion incoming. Here comes Colton Norris, makes Harper miss, and lays it in one final time. He will end his final career game as a Leopard with 6 points.
How about the fake there? Making him look a little silly.
A Jordan Cremona-esque play. Thomas on the opposite end, can't get that one to go. It'll be kept alive by the Leopards, and that should do it. One last heat from Stouffer, and the Alliance Aviators are victorious. 61-45 your final. And just like that, Cooper, the chance comes back again. Alliance, they want it. They've been waiting 44 years for it. And on Saturday, they have a chance to win their first district title since the 1981-82 season.
I mean, to think about it, it's crazy what Coach Harper has done here with this organization, with these players. I mean, it's just absolutely phenomenal.
And our camera just got covered by one of the banners.
They're hanging the district finals banners right in front of our cameras. But you know what? The Aviator fans here are just so happy. The players are excited. Everyone's excited. Oh, and now they're playing All We Do Is Win by DJ Khaled. And if we take a look at the student section, I think all they do is win.
All we do is win. Bo Davis leading it. I mean, Cooper, as an Alliance student, where is your head at right now?
I'm just really hyped. You know, as much as I want to say, you know, we're just happy to be here, there's more work to do, right? You look at some of the social media posts, I believe Star Sports Coverage, Empowers Media, they had us as the favorite to win that D3 title. So you have to look at the expectations given. There's a lot more to go.
2 friends of the channel voting for the Aviators and Marshawn Powers. A lot of his coverage is the Warrensville Heights Tigers, and they have had a couple of great games as of late. And then, of course, Stark Sports coverage. We're not going to talk about my Division III pick, are we?
Only if you want.
I did go with Garfield Heights. I'm going to own up to that. But I've said that since the beginning. And once again, as we'll come back up here, my logic behind it was reminiscent of what Louisville did last year. Bo and Tom Siegfried won a title together in Bo's senior year. Marcus gets one with Sonny. That's my logic behind it. I've said it since day one of the season. I'm not going to change it here in the postseason. That's my logic behind it, but I think Alliance can make a deep run. And a lot of this is going to come down to who they play on Saturday. We're still trying to find updates. It was a 1-point game. Bedford hanging on. Do we have another update from that one, Bryce? Still 55-54? 48 seconds left to go. We're going to stay on here to see who wins.
Well, I think we were going to talk a little bit more. I mean, what are our expectations for player of the game? What's going on? Like, there's a lot of great players, people who made fantastic additions that maybe they don't normally do. You look at some players that were coming off the bench. Tajay Nicholson had, I don't know exactly how many points, but 2 points, but 2 blocks, probably a whole host of steals. I mean, he was putting up numbers all across the board, doing what needed to be done to get the win. Tajay Nicholson had a fantastic game. J.R. Jackson with, his pedestrian, I would say about 20 points.
He had 20 on the dot.
20 on the dot. See, I was right there. And Sam Hayes, who was making a big contribution from 3 as he does, all the time. He's a big who can shoot. What more do you want to ask for? There was just a lot going on. I think we may have to reconvene.
I do have the official book here done on our end. The board had a different number for KB. Actually, I did have 5 for KB, so he ends with 5. 20 for J.R. Jackson as well. Akron Garfield has just taken the lead. They've been trailing the entire second half, so hold on a minute. Once again, we're going to stay on until we have a winner over there to see who Alliance is playing on Saturday. But out of nowhere, Akron Garfield has taken back the lead. But going back to the scores, Brisker had 2. Jackson had 20. 2 for Tajay Nicholson, 5 for KB, 5 for Braylon Sears, 9 for Parker Woods, 13 for Sam Hayes, 5 for Channing Jellison. As for the Louisville Leopards, 6 tonight for Norris, 9 for Zaylor, 11 for Wilson, 12 for Sanders, 2 for Cohen Rogers, 3 for Matthew, and 2 for Noah Ickes, the freshman. Cooper, usually I decide player of the game. It's your pick tonight.
Well, I think someone who brought the energy on offense, also brought it on defense, got a good amount of steals, threw some blocks
Sam
in there
Hayes?
too, and was hitting that 3 ball. I have Sam Hayes as my player of the game.
And we're going with it. Your player of the game, officially presented by SmeeSports tonight, goes to Sam Hayes. 13 points, second leading scorer. But he had the hustle. He had the grit. And if Alliance is going to be either Akron Garfield or Bedford on Saturday night, it's going to have to, in large part outside of JR, stem from him.
Yeah, he's done a great job stepping up as a scorer, especially this year. I believe his best output came against New Philly. I think he had 22 or 23.
Yes, he did.
Which is just, fantastic from him. He's really blossomed into a great player, and he's only a junior. You have to think of how much he's contributing to this team. He still has next year to play with his guard counterpart, Cash Brisker. So I think it'll be fun. I think Sam Hayes, you throw the dunk in there, it's just the cherry on top for him. That's my player of the game.
58-56 Bedford with 15 seconds on the clock. We're just getting word of that.
Oh, my goodness. This is stressful. I'm not even there. I'm not even watching.
Honestly, Cooper, I know we're going to be calling that game most likely. Who would you rather see?
It's a tough one.
I think, obviously, the answer changes if Rayshawn Hamilton plays.
Yeah, I was going to say, you look at Garfield missing their star player in Rayshawn Hamilton.
But they're still doing that well against that good of a Bedford team.
And that's the other thing. I think my answer changes if he plays or not. Bedford, still a super legit team. These are 2 incredible teams that, at the end of the day, are going to give the Aviators a hard time. But I think I would, even if Rayshawn Hamilton does not play, I think I want to see Aviators Bedford, just because that would be such a fun matchup to watch.
And we were supposed to see it last year, but of course that Barberton game did change everything. But I want to say this. Bedford on the channel this year, 1-0. Akron Garfield on the channel this year, 1-0. Alliance is also undefeated.
And I'll have to say, if I'm not mistaken, that Akron Garfield game was a stunner, correct?
Double overtime win, 72-71, something along those lines, against a very good Mackay Ansbury-led Euclid team.
That's what I thought. I was going to say, And
then Bedford, that win came against Lutheran West, both at the NEO Youth Elite Christmas Classic, both in the 4:15 time window on their respective days.
I was tuning into those over my winter break, and they were fantastic. These are 2 great teams. Alliance should be happy to play either of them. But for me, I think the better, more exciting matchup will be Alliance Bedford. Any updates over there, Bryce?
I think they're about done. Bryce, we got an update? Bedford shooting free throws. Most likely a Bedford Bearcat Alliance Aviator District Final. We're going to toss it downstairs as we just kind of wait for this finish here, Cooper. Once again, we got some games to preview coming up. 3 baseball games between Friday and Saturday. First of all, starting at 5 p.m. at Tri-C's Ron Model Field. It is number 9 Kellogg Community College, the Bruins, one of the big bads of NJCAA Region 12, taking on Tri-C, the 2 seed from a year ago. That game is a 9-inning affair starting at 5. Then Saturday, 12-3, it's a doubleheader. assuming we get to go to Strongsville to do that game, it'll be myself and Cam Regazzo on the call for game 1 and just Cam Regazzo for game number 2. And then from there, once we're done there, we are probably going to start the SmeeSports pregame show the moment that we have our final pitch or at 6:30. If they're somehow still going at 6:30, we're going to just go to pregame. And Bedford just missed their first free throw. We still don't know who Alliance is going to play. This is just a really kind of anxious time here because you don't know who is going to be the opponent.
And as much as I want to go down and get my people for interviews, I want to stay up here. I got to find out who wins, man.
I think we send DC.
Yeah. Oh, can you trust him?
I'm thinking JR, Sam, and Parker.
That's a good one. And then grab Coach Harper as well.
There we go. That's our 4. So we're going to have DC go on and grab our people for post-game interviews. That's who we're going to be talking to when this one is done. And this is where you hear us think out loud, Cooper, as of course this is a big time. It's over? So you have our official district championship game. It is the Alliance Aviators and the Bedford Bearcats. Bedford has knocked off Akron Garfield 59-56. And a year late, a round later, we are going to have our Alliance Aviator Bedford Bearcat playoff game. My goodness. What a contest.
I think.
At my house, too.
Well, and that's where I was going to say is, I think if all goes well, I might be able to make it up for that. I might be able to make the trip either, with the traveling admin, or if we get busing for students for a student section. Either way, we'll have to see. But I would love to be there, man. This is my team. These are my Aviators. I got to get there. I got to watch it.
I mean, right now, what are your thoughts? Because obviously this was going to be one that could have happened. We knew it could. But still, 15-8 Bedford, a great team. 22-2 Alliance, a great team. Should we leave the dialogue for Saturday?
I think so.
We'll leave the dialogue for Saturday. To stay up to date on all the games that we are covering, follow SmeeSports on Instagram and TikTok, SmeeSports LLC on Facebook and LinkedIn, and SmeeFist 2024 on Twitter. As well, go down below and subscribe. Make sure you are subscribed to make sure you don't ever miss one of our live streams. As well, for those watching on Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance, keep your eyes peeled on social media, Skyward Studios on Instagram, and Channel 1022 on Facebook for all of the airings. A lot of Mount Union games coming up with the OAC tournament. And, of course, some of our games re-airing on the channel. Make sure you tune in and see some great Alliance Aviator basketball. And, of course, on Saturday, if all goes right, Alliance versus Bedford at Strongsville. The winner is off to the OHSAA regional tournament. But the biggest takeaway for tonight, Division III in Ohio will have a new state champion when it's all said and done. It just sounds so surreal that that is the case. But Alliance, they knocked off the champions tonight, and they've earned this win. They earned it by every stretch of the imagination. 61-45 the final. They got it done. For Cooper Fontaine, I am Nathan Smee, signing off from Harry Field's Gymnasium for the final time this season, as this has been OHSAA basketball on SmeeSports and on Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance in partnership with Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance. We will see you Friday evening for a great NJCAA Division II baseball matchup. And then after that, the hope is Saturday Night Lights over at Strongsville High School, Alliance and Bedford District Final basketball.